Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm here at the district office in downtown Bakersfield. It's one of the conference rooms. And I think there are so many good things that came out of the COVID pandemic. There was certainly a lot of heartache and not so good things that happened. But a good thing has been the ability for all of us to come together in community using Zoom. So I'm thankful that on the 13th day of my new job, I'm able to connect with, let's see, about 280 of you, 81 right now, who are tuning in for this 60-minute session on issues that are on your minds as we're getting back to our physical spaces. Now, technology, that's a good thing with technology. We can do Zoom meetings. The bad news is that my laptop, there were some problems. So I'm working from a different device and I don't have my prepared notes with me, which is good in a way. So I'm going to be brief and to the point. When I started thinking about continuing with these gatherings where we share information, Dina Rhodes was discussing the issues that have been coming up related to specific circumstances of our employees when they were sort of re-engaging and coming back to the campus, to the office, to the downtown office. So we thought that the first launch should be to address return to our physical spaces. So the outcome for today's seminar is really twofold. One, to provide information, but more importantly to me, is to signal the entire district that we are in this together. So in some cases, we may not have the correct answer, but what we're signaling to you is that faculty, classified staff, managers, we're all working together to find the best way to keep our employees safe and to keep our employees healthy. So we're here for our students and for the community. And that is the spirit in which we bring you this 60-minute seminar. The other main message is when we're talking about something that is district-wide, typically we are only able to provide guidelines. When it comes to a specific instance related to an employee and a specific circumstance, then please feel empowered to make your circumstance visible so that HR can work with you and support you and customize a solution that really works for you. So I want to show the gamut of district-wide guidelines, and then you have the colleges. Just yesterday, I was in a meeting with President Claudia Habib, President Sean Hancock, and President Zab Dadaboy, and we were talking about the shifting landscape and the shifting guidelines that keep coming up every day related to workspaces. And we were chuckling that the LA Times, for example, had come up with an article. The headlines were, every student in K through 12 had to wear masks. And then in a few hours, that was changed to saying, well, locally, the high schools could make the determination what worked for them. And then you have the whole issue related to vaccinations, right? If you're vaccinated, you now have a greater freedom in the guidelines for wearing masks. So there's just so many things that are shifting and changing. So what we're committing to you is really to communicate, to communicate, and to communicate. And the seminar series is going to be one forum in which we're going to be able to have discussions in a way that is not going to be, necessarily giving you an answer, because often it is more nuanced and it's more a discussion than a specific yes or no answer. I wanted to also comment about the variants. Our Board of Trustees, we had our first, in-person meeting in July. And one of the discussions we were having were about the different variants that are emerging. And the World Health Organization has developed a nomenclature to refer to them, and they're using the Greek alphabet. So even though the scientific way of referring to them is still retained in the research environment, the media and the public is using the Greek alphabet. So you have the Delta variant, which everyone is now tracking. And the World Health Organization has actually classified the Delta variant being a variant of concern, as opposed to the Lambda and Kappa variants as variants that are of interest. So they're sort of tracking it, but it's not sort of moved into the variant of concern. So the reason I wanted to call it out is to let you know that the teams on the campuses that are tracking the most relevant and current information that are being put out by CDC, by OSHA, as well as from WHO, where the COVID teams are tracking this information, and so is the team at the district office. So at this time, Shannon, if you can just pull up the teams, I made sure that we had a slide deck that the presidents had sent me. And this is the Porterville College team. Thank you, Claudia and Felicia, for sending it to me. And I think we have 2 slides that cover the Porterville team. There are the names up here. And, probably those teams evolve as we move into the fall semester. But I wanted you to really see that there are many individuals who are tracking this information in a very close manner. And moving to the Saracoso team, thank you, Sean, for sending this to me. You've got the 3 vice presidents, and then the next slide, you have the listing of the individuals at Saracoso. And then the slide deck will be posted on the Chancellor's Office website, so you'll have information. And then the last 3 slides are related to Bakersfield College. And I know at BC, you have an instructional work group, and then you have a student work group. You have Nikki Damania leading this, and you have the logistics work group as well. And I see again, various folks, including our CSEA president, is on the operational work group. And I think that's my last set of remarks before I introduce you to our panel. I'll have our panelists at this point turn on their videos. We have an amazing group. And I want to first really recognize Dina Rhodes, and we can go ahead and take out the PowerPoint. Dina, thank you for being the first person to say yes to doing a seminar and pulling together, Matt Crow and Tina Johnson and Manny Manzano's reflecting the 3 different constituent groups, and really partnering with Dina in trying to find solutions, I know in a formal way, looking at MOUs and so on. And last but not least, what can I say about Eileen O'Hare? In every statewide meeting that I go to, if there is a legal briefing for presidents and chancellors, the person providing that legal briefing is Eileen O'Hare. So we are so fortunate at the Kern Community College District to have Eileen really guiding us through very complicated issues. And more than being an expert in all of these matters, it's Eileen's heart that I really love. And Dina tells me that Eileen is so incredibly busy, but when we have a question at the Kern Community College District, Eileen is often a text message away. She's so accessible. She jumps on and helps us problem solve and come up with a solution that is supportive of all of our employees so that we can be strong, we can be healthy for our students. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dina and the panel to take it away.